Hello, how are we? Well, I'm going to do another face-off today. Hope we're all well. It's a Saturday here in the UK and we've actually got a football match on today. So I thought I'd better have a shave before I watch it. Not that I really care about football, but it is a European competition. England playing crap, frankly. But hey, we keep sort of going forward a bit, so I think tonight we might get scuppered by the dudes from Swiss, which is fair dinkum because they play a nice form of football. So what I've been doing is I had a few shaves with various razors and stuff over the last few months, and I thought, next time I go to use it, give it a bit of a touch up, see if I can get it hair pinging in again. It still was most of the way down the blade and stuff, but instead of putting it on the stones like I normally would, I thought I'd put it onto, well, first off I just stropped it nice and fast on my old horse strop that I did a video of last, I don't know, week or so. That's downstairs. Linen side first, it's fine linen, and then the horse side, I don't think it's a shell because it's, well, don't say it's a shell horse, but whatever, it's a horse. And it basically got both razors near back to hair pinging, like, it always surprises me. And one of them razors was my Friodur that I bought not long ago, and I made a case for it. Yeah, I'll do a bit of leather crafting. The edges are still drying a bit. It's in there. And the other razor that I wanted to shave with again, is just because it's one of my favourites, and it is just an amazing razor, was my Parker 101, and that didn't have a box or nothing for it, so I made a case for it. Yeah, and this one's a slightly bit more fancy. It's got a lining that goes all the way up. That's got a line and everything, but just not on the flap. Two different designs. This one's like got a thinner sewed edge with like a thicker piece just down the spine. It's all saddle stitch, all hand stitched, like it's called saddle stitch. It's the best stitching in the world. Like if one side fails, it can still hold it all together because you're literally crossing the threads. Like no machine can do it. There's some machines that pretend to do it, but they can't. If your stitch fails on most things, it just can. And this is my Parker in here. Look. It's my beautiful Parker. Did some custom scales for this a while ago. Just give you a quick look at the razors. I know everybody's here to look at the razors, really, not me. That's my little thing that I do on, well, all my wedges really. Bit of red, bit of brass. Just, I love this razor, and I'm gonna let me think. Korat, when I finally managed to get the money together and everything, it's going to be kind of styled on that bait, like a little bit. The my old Friodur. So if you remember, the Friodur, well, it's new to me, was just not popping hairs, just here it is now and everything. And I didn't have to put it back on the stones, but I just gave it a bit more work on the paddle strops that I made a while ago. And yeah, I think it was shaving good anyway. I did a rush job on it a little bit, just because I was clucking to shave with it. I'm going to be shaving with my sandalwood Mysore. Good no. New. Well, it was an old stock Noz thing that I bought. Like I mentioned in the first video with it, I'm quite fond of sandalwoods and stuff. Like nice and mild, nice gentle kind of smell. And it was one of the first sort of like pucks I ever bought from memory. Well, it was. I know it was, and I think it was a Crabtree in Evelyn. I'm damn near sure of it. And since then I've gone for, I don't know, 2 or 3. Yeah, so I thought I'd do a bit of leather crafting. So I'm doing my strop as well. I've got like a shell Cordovian strop, like a vintage one. I forget what the little stamp on it now. I think it's a diamond edge one. I'm sure it is now. And it's got a real nice leather on it still. The linen was alright. It was just had a lot of paste and God knows what else on it. It was the ex-Barbers lot that I bought, like the 1960s Barbers lot, travelling bottle, 50s. I have receipts from the 50s in it. I bought a whole lot of travelling Barber stuff, and that was his strop. And I'm damn near sure he went from a Wasiba stone to a cockerel stone to a piece of wood that was pasted with that ham-on stuff, and then he went to the strop that I believe also had the ham-on but like the lesser grit, and then he had the horse Cordovian one that he was doing his final strop on. And that's what I think anyway, because I bought his whole lot, you see, so it was almost like buying a little bit of a barber's life, especially like a travelling one. It was pretty cool, like going through it, I must say. And like I said, it had a few receipts in it from the 50s. Even had like a national barbering register thing. It's pretty cool. Let's warm up. It's gone a bit cold here again in the UK. Summertime, you know, it really is. Honestly, it is. It is summer. I've got somebody else shaving this week. It's always a good week. Shaving, like, you know, well, there's 2 people in the last week now, which is always just pretty cool. Quite a good soap, I like it. First impressions, well, this is second, but it's a little bit thin at the moment. A bit too much water was going on. It's because I was chopped in too much. But it will thicken up. Just been doing a little sort of bit of stone investigations as well. I've noticed when I've been using, I think I'm damn near sure of it, I've been eliminating stuff. Well, processes of what I've been doing, and I think my gyro was letting off a bit of grit that was damaging more the bevel really, but it was putting tiny little microchips, like under my microscope you could only just see them, like you'd have to have a keen eye to see them, so it wouldn't have affected the shave sort of thing, but I could see it, I didn't like it, so, and I think it was the way I was using my gyro, so I've changed my Nagora stone, like slurry stone, so I've changed what I'm doing, and I've done, well, I've touched up 2 other razors today, going from, well, not popping air to popping air again, using my Nagora MIG Giro slurry onto a DM plate fine, I forget what it's called now, but anyway, like the base stone slurry, and then just using with no slurry whatsoever. And it's not done it, you see, so I think it was basically I was swirling the Nagora trying to get like a dome bottom, but what I think I was doing was every now and then I was banging it so the chip was coming off, like you wouldn't, not to see the chip, tiny microscopic chip. So this is the stainless steel Friodur version again, just if you didn't know, and it's this model's called a 17.5, half denotes the toe. And that is just a little tiny bit better. Not that it was bad, but I was I was up to 4 shaves with it, with just no like normal stropping. Yeah, it's definitely just that micro percent a little bit better again. I still think it needs to go back to the stone, possibly to just do a tiny bit of work on the heel, but it's my razor, man, so it doesn't matter to me. And like I said many times, I like to try and preserve the metal as best as I can, and sometimes that means not having an absolute but it is, you know what I mean, like it is. But I think it could be a tiny bit better. But yeah, it's good, man. And this is my Parker. This is one of my favourites, man. Can you hear the sound difference, man? It's made from a special high carbon steel. It's quite famous for it in some circles, I believe. And it's just one of my favourites, man. It's just great. It says Swedish steel on it, but everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people believe it's made from a steel called ASAB. It says highest carbon steel on it, and it is just wonderful. Definitely one of the razors that I use that kind of just breeds confidence within you, if you know what I mean. It's almost a half hollow. Don't flex much, at least, you know, don't feel like it does. The edge definitely don't. You know, some Sheffields can get a tiny bit pingy because they're, well, Sheffield grind. Just love it. So happy I found one. I was looking for it nearly 2 years. There's another model that's nearly the same as that I'm after as well, but I'm not going to tell you because in case you get it. I'm playing, of course. I think it's 501. No, 501, I believe. And they're basically the same as that. It can just be slightly bigger, like a mil, 2 mil. That's my understanding of it, but you kind of have to make your own investigations of that, really, because there's no actual kind of proper literature out there about it. So yeah, it's good soap, man. It's quite thick, especially on the second one after it's sort of been left to absorb a little bit. Quite easy to activate. I'm not a soap expert though by any matter, I must say. Let's go back to the old Friodur. J A Henckels. It's more of a spot than anything. Didn't feel it anyway, but that way. The only thing that ain't popping air on this parker is right at the very end, and I mean the last 5-6 mil, but I'm not bothered about it. If you look, the person before me, it just flicks up at that moment, and I can chase that by using my wrist and everything, and I'll probably get it on the next hone, but again, it's like just preserving the metal. There's no need for me to get it that close, really. I rarely ever need the very tip, if you know what I mean. Does feel incredibly sharp sometimes. Just lovely, it makes a very unique sound as well. Definitely have to correct correct the angle on my left side a little bit more as I'm going along. And it's definitely my hand-eye brain coordination on my left side. Lovely, just lovely. I absolutely love shaving with that razor. I get excited every time I pick it out. And I had a good excuse this time because I was making a case for it. It did have a nice case, so it weren't original. It was just one that I saved from another one. It was really nice, like old school sort of coffin-y thing. But when I did the scales, the collars were just that little bit more chunky than the original horrible celluloid scales it had. They weren't original scales either, by the way. I'd never take off Parker ones if they were, because they actually did some nice scales. Some of them were a bit inlaid and stuff. Just love it though, I love the shape. That's why I've got another razor called Hope, H-O-P-P-E. It's a 14 pattern one, and it's got that little kick there, which I really like. I like the blade profile on it, and also I just like it when I'm honing. You know, it gets rid of anything that you can even, on a microscopic lapse, sort of hit the stabiliser and stuff. Now I've mentioned it, I might have to get that out, so. Well, I know for one thing, that Parker's got his close. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I tell you, that's rare for me. I've got two little problem areas, like I've said so many times. Just kind of here and here, and I think that's very common for most men to have that area. And it's just where your hair kind of always. Like, you can get it, you know, I can. But, you know, I only do that 2-pass thing anyway. And sometimes it just, I can feel it a bit more. Don't know if you can hear it, but a little bit. It is doing it, but it's a lot less. It's my ears anyway. Right, lovely, I'm going to tidy everything up and get on with my day. I'll see you soon. Toodaloo.